right where we can think of uncertainty.
Not only opportunity for us to love, because we don't know for sure whether God exists or not, and so we can imagine either situation and know which we would want. We can choose to imagine God doesn't exist, or we can choose to imagine, at least temporarily, that He does exist, you know. We may change and shift tracks on that, and that's because of uncertainty. And in a sense we think of God as not having uncertainty, although I think He's experiencing our uncertainty as well. He can experience both being certain of something and the uncertainty from our perspective, and probably any other perspective, but still, certainly from what we're exercising, so to speak. And that would mean that He can delight in now beings that have a partial view and therefore uncertain, but because of the uncertainty may choose to trust God, to love Him and trust Him, and therefore He can implement something in the creation that we're in, material creation, that is not necessarily responding to what we're asking for or wanting, and unless we just keep on and on and on, in which case He may give in, you know, because of our importunity, as Jesus' record would argue it, the unjust judge thing, you know. And but He can maintain a state that is right as He understands it, despite it being wrong as we understand it, and yet we are still happy with Him because we trust Him. You see, we love Him. We love and we trust, and we're confronted with evidence to the contrary, and we just say, I'm not interested. I love Him. The relationship is this. Now, in a sense, you see, John and I have done this with our discord. We're saying, yeah, there is a discord. We're not clear as either of us come up with the right answer or a harmonious mode of operation for the future, but we have established that it is most important to us that our relationship is right, regardless of any discord. In fact, definitely a relationship that's so right it can take discord, because there is a faith and trust, a desire for harmony that is greater than a desire to solve the discord. It's almost as if the discord can remain. Either of us or both of us can be dissatisfied in a sense with the decision or the outcome made, but it's not going to in any way damage our loyalty, if you like, to each other, our appreciation of each other. Now that's wonderful. That enables God to most happily do what is right, contrary to what I'm asking, and me still be right with Him, and therefore absolutely minimizing any damage that could otherwise have come from me not being satisfied in my request. So trust and faith in Him is not trust and faith that He will definitely do what I want, but trust in faith that He will definitely be right. And that doesn't mean to say I don't ask. Of course I ask. You're welcome to ask. But I can't necessarily say I'm going to meet it in the way that you're asking, because I could, but I mean this would be costly in other ways. And there are better ways. You know, like you don't have to own a house. I'll just make this house available to you, or you can rent it, or, you know, you've got enough income to rent, not to buy, but that's fine. All you wanted was the use of a house, you know. So, yes, He responds, not necessarily in the way that you are stipulating, but even from your point of view, yes, the best way. It wasn't what I was imagining, but it was better. It was His way, taking into account all the things that I too value, that He was able to take into account and I wasn't when I made the request. You see, uncertainty has made the possibility now of an amazing relationship that is quite lovely, even though I'm so limited in my view of all that is right and best, because I know he isn't, or I trust that he isn't. And that trust is making something lovely possible that he understands to be lovely, and yet does respond to my request. You know, I mean, it's not that it's denying my request. On the contrary, it's meeting my request and better. My faith is making my request more adaptable to what is better. Isn't that lovely? And that faith is there, of course, because of love and trust and a great desire to love and trust. And where's that come from? Something to do with the experience of life that he's given us. That's given us this. It's the gift of God, isn't it? It's the result of his amazing training of us, the amazing experiences he's given us of life, and fine-tuning it so that we've come that way to this. Thank you, Heavenly Father.